Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Kenny, and as you might notice, we are in our kitchen, and we want to share a recipe with you this evening. We're going to show you how to make homemade vegetable turkey soup. So you hang around and we're going to show you how to do that, okay? Alright folks, as you can see, I have got some vegetables laid out here on my table that I've got to prepare for this recipe. Now before we start this, keep in mind that I'm making this soup for my family, and I have a large family. There are 6 of us total. So you make this according to your family size and use the same amount of ingredients. There's 8 ingredients here that I want to show you. First of all, this is the main ingredient, which is the turkey. This is butterball, and it actually is 93% lean, and it has no hormones in it, no antibiotics, and no steroids. So that is, for my family size, this is about a 3-pound tub. Now we will start out with potatoes, which I've already peeled and washed. And we will also have fresh green onions, and I'm going to use the onion, plus I will use a large portion of the green part of the green onion. And these are from my garden, by the way. And I will be using broccoli. Here's a stalk of broccoli that's also from my garden. And most of these ingredients, of course, if they come from my garden, they're organic. But these carrots, I will be using about a half a dozen carrots for this recipe. 2 stalks of celery, and I will be using some minced organic garlic for it as well. Like I said, there are 8 ingredients for this, and I will be using a 1.5 quart of tomato juice. Now, this tomato juice is organic. I really put this in a jar last year, which was 2019, and I'll put about a 1.5 quart in my pot for my soup. So we'll start off with this turkey meat. We will put it in the pot and cook it for about a half hour. Cook it on medium heat, that way it gets thoroughly cooked. You might want to cook it just a little bit more than that if you want to, but we want to get these potatoes sliced and diced along with the onions and the carrots. So we'll give you more details how to prep all of the stuff that we are putting into this as we go along. Now I've got this ground turkey in a large pot, and I added about a half a gallon of water to it. So I'm going to cook it for approximately 30-35 minutes, and it should be nice and done. And it usually is in small chunks. Now this is frozen turkey, so it takes just a tad longer for it to cook. But you don't want to overdo it with your turkey. You don't have to cook it too much. All right, folks, we're dicing our potatoes. I have got about 7 or 8 medium-sized potatoes that I'm going to put in this soup. Usually I make this in squares. You can make them according to the size you actually want. So I just usually quarter them up like this, and they will come out just right. You can take your time here. These do not have to be perfect. So we'll put some of them in, and we also do the carrots, and we also do the onions and the celery the same way. Just dice them up. And these ingredients all go together in the pot while they're cooking after I get the turkey all through. I usually put the potatoes in first because they need to cook just a little bit longer than the other ingredients, but I add them very close together. That way they get done real quick and it doesn't take forever. All right, do the carrots in the same manner, just like this. Like I said earlier, just take your time. Usually if they're a large carrot, I'll take and just split it like that. This is a very hearty soup. Of course, it's summertime, but this goes great in the summertime as well. We always enjoy it in the summer. We're chopping the celery. You don't want to overdo the celery with this, because celery is a little overpowering, and you don't want to have that with your other veggies, like your potatoes and your carrots. Now we're going to dice these onions. These are fresh from the garden. They were just picked about a half hour ago. So we're going to put these in for beautiful flavor enhancer. This is what makes your soup so flavorful, is the onions. Oh, there's something about a fresh plucked onion from the garden. I love the aroma. They make fantastic soup. Now I'm also going to add the green part of this, because that will add even more flavor to this soup. Alright, we're going to go ahead and chop up this broccoli. You don't want to leave your broccoli in too larger chunks. Just go ahead and you can cut the chunks any size you want to. I usually try to keep them as small as I can. You can just pull it apart if you want to with your fingers. Like that. That's good. You don't want your broccoli to be too larger chunks, because it's important to enhance the flavor a whole lot more if you keep them kind of small. And you can use a little bit of the stalk if you want to. Alright folks, our turkey is pretty well done. We have lowered the heat down a little, and we're going to add our potatoes, and we've already added salt to this. So we're going to add our potatoes. You want to put them in first, very important, because your potatoes take a whole lot longer to cook, as well as we'll put the carrots in. Put these two ingredients in first after your turkey is done. Now, turkey is completely cooked, although it will cook some more while these potatoes cook. Now, reduce your heat down to medium heat and cook this with the potatoes and the carrots along with the turkey for another 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes before you add your other ingredients. All right, we've been cooking this for about 10 minutes on medium heat, and we're ready to add our onions and our celery to this pot. And we want to keep them on low heat for another 5 minutes, and then we'll be adding the final ingredients to it. All right, folks, we're going to add the garlic. A little small 4 ounce, which is actually there's only about 3 ounces of garlic in this. This is for the flavor. Everything tastes better with garlic in it. So we're going to add the broccoli. This is last veggie that you add to it. Now that's going to cook for another 5 minutes before the final ingredient. All right, one of the final steps to this is reduce and take some of your liquid out to make room for your tomato juice. So I have already done this. I have taken out approximately, about 1 quart to make room for it. Now I'm going to add the tomato juice. I'm putting about 1.5 quarts in mine, because I've got a large family and your family may not be as big as mine, so you can adjust that according to your family. Now I've got one final ingredient. I've already added the salt, the necessary salt that I need to add to this soup. I'm going to add one other ingredient here. I'm going to add a small amount, which really about a half a cup of this salsa. This is homemade salsa, folks. That's very, very spicy and very thick. It's got tons of ingredients in it, all fresh, organic from the garden, which we made last year. I'm going to put about a half a cup of this salsa into the soup. That is your final ingredient right there. About a half a cup. Now we get this blended. The heat is down on low. All it's got to do now is just heat up and come back to a boil, and your soup is thoroughly done. The last thing we do, we add 2 teaspoons full of raw honey to this soup. 2 teaspoonfuls of raw honey. And of course, give it a good swirl, good stir. We are going to chow down, folks. This is a beautiful bowl of soup, as you can see. And let me tell you, it's very easy to make. Anybody can make it. Just follow the directions that I gave to you. And let me tell you, it'll turn out just right if you'll put the right ingredients in it. You won't have to worry about it. It'll be perfect soup when you get ready to serve it. So you have a great afternoon, and we will talk to you.